Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Oner Podcast, the podcast where we break down and review films all in one big, long, unbroken take. I'm Austin Archer, and with me, as always, is my childhood next-door neighbor and lifelong best friend,
Cramer, England.
Okay, all right, we're back to the world of the dinosaurs.
Yes, back. It felt really quick.
Yeah,
Like I feel like Dominion didn't come out that long ago.
it's like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
and even when they announced this, movie, because we're going to be reviewing Jurassic World Afterbirth, Jurassic World Rebirth.
Mhm.
If you want to know that joke, follow or just listen to our episode
Previous
last week.
episode.
But yeah,
Callback. That's a callback,
yeah,
baby.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I even when they announced it, because they were going to have someone else direct it. I should, oh, man, one of the John Wick guys, he was going to direct it,
Mm.
and then they decided, he couldn't do it or whatever, and then Gareth Evans came on, and I swear
Edwards.
that was like a year. Edwards, thank you,
Yeah.
sorry. I swear that was like a year ago. It's probably longer than that, but still, like, it was such a quick turnaround.
Yeah, not a bad team here. Gareth Edwards and David Koepp, who wrote the
Yeah.
screenplay for the first
Yeah.
Jurassic Park movie.
Yep.
And David Koepp, who has two of my favorite screenplays of this year so far, of
Yeah.
2025. He wrote Presence, which we talked about on this channel, and he wrote Black Bag, which we didn't talk about, but Black Bag was great too.
Yeah.
And David Koepp's, I mean, like 3 big movies that, or I guess, this is obviously the biggest one.
Yeah.
But so we're going to do a kind of a new thing on the channel here that we haven't been doing before, but we're sort of doing our spoiler-free talk about the film in the first 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And that'll be posted as a separate video if you just want to watch the spoiler-free stuff. And then in our full length, we will get into spoilers. So we are in the spoiler-free section of talking about Jurassic World Rebirth. What were your just sort of general feelings about this entry?
So my general feelings were that I was not expecting a lot. It's my son's birthday today, and he wanted to come and see this movie. So I saw it at 4:30 today. So I'm pretty fresh off the boat, watching it. So my biggest thing was I wanted to have a good time. I wanted to have fun, and I saw it with all my kids, and I saw it with my 5-year-old daughter was on my lap, which is funny because I think I told you this story. But when Jurassic Park first came out in 1993. I saw it in the theater twice with my family, and I was shaking on my dad's lap the entire time, both times.
Yeah.
And this was kind of like the same. My daughter was like screaming, like audibly screaming in the theater.
It is one of those movies where like I saw that movie 3 times in the theater as a kid, and we were 6, 7 years old.
Yep.
And I remember it. I remember
me too.
I remember pulling my legs up when the raptor jumps to go bite the girl's legs as she's pulled it. I remember I saw it at a drive-in. One of the and it was like seeing that in the car and seeing the T-Rex scene in the car. And being in it, I mean, as a young kid, I vividly remember it. And I similarly my expectations for this film were in the gutter. I had no expectations. I just wanted to have a good time. And I feel like sometimes there's movies where like when the movie was over, I was like, hey, I can't walk out of that movie and go, that was terrible. The same way I kind of felt about Dominion. Where I was like, that was a bad movie. That was really bad. Or the same way I felt after Fallen Kingdom, where it was like, wow, that movie really fell off the rails. I couldn't walk out of Rebirth and say they really did a terrible job there, but I just felt so kind of indifferent. Even having low expectations, I just was kind of like, okay, yeah, sure. I was like, I mean, I definitely was like, they could have done a worse job for sure.
Oh yeah,
with the movie.
Yeah, I really I felt the same way. I walked out, and my kids had fun. Their friends had, everybody had fun. I had fun. But it wasn't like about halfway through the movie, I was like, the best score this could get for me subjectively is a 7. And it didn't really reach that. I'll get to that later, but like it was fun. But I think the biggest problem that this has, just as a general problem, is it has too many characters.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we'll get into that, I think, as we get into
Yeah.
the plot, but and a lot of people have been saying this. There's specifically a whole group of characters that I think most people who watch the movie are like, please just cut them out of the movie.
Yeah.
There's a whole group of people in the movie that everyone's just like, we just don't need them. We
Yeah.
just, as soon as we got to them, I keep seeing this over and over and over again in online talk where people are like, oh, why? Like as soon as they showed up, it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
now we, and it's I mean, here's the thing is sometimes there's movies like this where I sort of feel like, hey, that was fine. They did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Like the reason why this movie exists is because, and I've seen this from a lot of people too, where they're like, there's no reason for this story to exist as far as like there's not like a good storytelling reason why we need to come back to the world of Jurassic Park in the movies.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's a very lucrative property for Universal Pictures. It's a movie that it's a property that has the ability to bankroll lots of projects for that studio. Your prediction when we talked about this movie on our predictions for top movies of 2025 is that it would make $1 billion. I think you're right. It made $320 million in its opening weekend, had a massive opening weekend. And honestly, like from a business standpoint in the film industry, that's a good enough reason to make a movie for a studio. If you can make $320 million in your opening weekend, they're going to keep making these. And if it is going to be that way where it's like, we're making it because the money's so good, you could do worse than Jurassic World Rebirth.
You could. I think you're totally right. I mean, we all, so many times we wish that there were more original movies and things like that. But when these sequels and reboots and everything are making this much money, studios have to keep giving it to us,
right?
Because that's what the majority of people will see. And this is something that like, I mean, honestly, just like you said, this is better than Dominion, and this is for sure better than Fallen Kingdom. Like, it's a fun movie. It's not perfect. It's not the best in the series. It's not the worst in the series. But hey, it was fun.
Well, and as I said you could definitely do worse than Rebirth.
Yeah.
I also think you could definitely do better.
Yes.
And there are, so this is something we can talk about without getting into spoilers. This can stay in our spoiler-free review because it's in all of the trailers. And this is a problem that I have with movies more and more, especially movies like this. And I talked about this in our prediction sequence, I think, too, where it's like, it's got the same problem that Captain America Brave New World has, where it's like, obviously this movie Brave New World wanted the Red Hulk to be a reveal, but it was on all of their marketing. And with the first trailer I saw for Jurassic World Rebirth, when it showed the scene of what I'm calling the Rancor, because it looks like the Rancor from Return of the Jedi.
I think that's exactly what they wanted it to look like.
Yeah, and it is 100% the Rancor. When it showed that dinosaur in like the lab grabbing the scientist, I immediately was like, well, that's the opening scene of the movie. I know that that's our cold open. And then it showed the scene of Mahershala Ali flashing a red flare at it. And I was like, and that's the finale. And I knew that from what I just was like, I know that the cold open is this thing's going to break out and it's going to be like, this happened on an island where they were doing an experiment on dinosaurs and creating mutant dinosaurs. Because I can see that it's not a normal dinosaur from the trailer. And then the scene with the flare, I was like, that's going to be our finale. And I guess this is sort of a spoiler, but it's not, because it was it's on all the posters. Like in the theater that I was seeing it in, they had this dinosaur on a poster. And I just was like, okay, like this is kind of your thing for this movie. They call it the D-Rex.
The D-Rex,
This is kind of your big thing. Is like, would it kill you to try to surprise me a little bit here with this thing? I don't know.
Yeah, you are exactly. And that's what I thought too. I was like, oh yeah, there's the open, there's the close. And we'll get into it more in the spoiler discussion, but I thought something else was going to happen as well. So,
but it's like, that should be a spoiler, but it's not. Because the movie spoiled it. Like they spoiled it in the marketing. And so I think we can safely put that in the spoiler free.
For sure. Like it's all over. You can see it. Like you can, unless you have not seen a trailer, then I'm sorry, but by that point, it's probably everybody who's seen the movie who didn't intentionally watch the trailer. So anyway, but yeah, they spoiled a lot, and it was,
and I mean, that's the other thing I'll say too about this before we get into our spoiler section of the review is just even, like being able to watch the trailer and predict those beats. Mm-hmm. The movie is, as you're watching it, it's hard to, there were very few sequences that surprised me in any way. Absolutely. I just was sitting there kind of going like, I just kind of felt like it was pretty much just giving me like, this is, yep. And then there's,
And absolutely. And this is a spoiler free thing. I knew who was going to die.
Sure.
Like the entire movie.
Of course we did.
And I kept telling my daughter, she's going to make it or he's going to make it. It's not, and she, I was like, this is okay. They're going to get out alive. Don't worry. Like that, I could basically walk her through it to try and help her. So she wasn't so scared, but it was
the movie was like it literally gave us a bunch of Star Trek red shirts that
absolutely
that they were just like, these are the characters that are disposable, and it was like, yeah, of course, obviously, movie. I just what is this, we're 7 films in now? Is this the 7th or 8th?
Yes, 7,
because there were 3 and 3 and this is the start of, I guess, a new trilogy
probably.
And again, so that's kind of, I think, my spoiler 3 thoughts. I don't know if you have anything else, but my spoiler 3 thoughts on Rebirth are, you could do worse, and also I think you could do better. But
yes, I think that's like the perfect summary of the movie. Could have been worse, could have been a lot better, but you know what? I had fun. So
yeah, I definitely like I said, it's like, it mostly delivered.
Yeah.
Again, my expectations were very low. I think if you go see this in the theater, keep those expectations low.
Yes.
And you should, like I said, you could do worse for your money.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.